Today I want to talk to you about vertical living and what does that mean going further. How I see development going further for most of the development is going vertical. That means going up because there's no other way you can go than up. The reason being is because number one, land is becoming very expensive. And as the joke goes, they're not making any more land. So that will bring development up because even now, a lot of development that is happening, it is not happening on raw land. Okay, it is happening on there are structures there already and they have to be demolished, and that's how new buildings are erected up. So that's number one. Price of land, value of land, scarcity of land, however you want to call it, land doesn't become more available. And number two is the availability of jobs, opportunities, good gyms, good restaurants, good clubs, anything like that. They're concentrated in a city. And as more people want to become part of the city and be closer to the city because that's where the job is, nobody wants to travel another 40 minutes out, and they do want to live in a city. And those two factors, I believe, are going to drive the vertical living the most. And there's other things, but mostly, being in a environment that is active, being in an environment where people dress nice, where people go to nice restaurants, listen to great music, that you can go on the street and meet somebody, and having an ice cream cone right here on the street. Those are the things that attract people to the cities. But let's be honest, it mostly is the jobs, okay? Because the way economy works, right? A big corporation, what they do, let's look at a corporation that moves from New York to Miami. What they do, they come here and they will take an office building and they'll rent the whole thing, or they'll rent the top 10 floors, right? Now, all these people that need to work here, they need to relocate from New York to Miami, let's say that they have, or they're going to start hiring here. All the people that they're going to hire, let's say the top talent that they hire, they live 40, 50 minutes, an hour from here, right? Now they have to commute to work, and not a lot of people want to do that. What they would rather do is they would rather live somewhere close by, and hopefully that's in the same building. Let's say you have you have parking, then you have a restaurant, and you have amenities, and then you have residential units, right? Hopefully they live there. That could be also a great option. A lot of people will do that. And then, if not, they'll go to another building. So now these people want to be here, and that's exactly how it happens. And as more people come to the cities, I believe that vertical living is going to be the only way you can go in the future. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but a couple years ago, there was a viral video to where a developer firm has developed a rendering of a skyscraper that was attached actually from the top by a satellite or something, and it was like circling. And that is pretty insane, but it might get to that as well. So I believe that could be something that would happen as well. But you can see how crazy this could get, right? That's if we run out of land at all. So let's talk about the vertical living, okay? And the way I see it is, number one, you're going to have all the in a building, you're going to have, of course, the parking that you need, and then you will have retail on the bottom. And retail, it would be anything like, let's take just you would have a shops, you would have your T-Mobile stores, maybe a FedEx store, things that people need to use daily. You need to you need to send a package. Maybe some stores right there, although most of the groceries nowadays are getting delivered, so that's not that big of a thing anymore, but that's a possibility. And then you'll have so I believe in the thing that people need to eat good food. And we see a lot. What I'm concerned with right now in today's world is obesity. That's number one. A lot of obese people. And that is that is not good. Okay? So because with that, there's other health problems that appear from that, and it's just not a good quality of life, I believe. So obesity, we see a lot of diabetes, and all those things are because of the foods that we eat. And we see a lot of consumption of sugar, and even if not diabetes and obesity, we see mental health problems that appear after a period of time. And I'm not a health expert. Is just from what I read, and what my understanding is. This is the conclusion that I take. So I believe that we need to have great food, and I believe that in a vertical living there is going to be a floor or two floors where food is going to be prepared right there. So it's going to be like a ghost restaurants, different type of foods, and they're going to be prepared right there, and residents would be able to just order it and have that food and not go anywhere and have it right there. And we'll have restaurants, let's say, on top as well, and somewhere in the middle of the building. Sure, let's go there, let's enjoy that, let's enjoy the patio, let's enjoy the sunshine, and all of those things are going to be available. But I believe a big part is going to be, and since COVID, we saw that for example, here in Miami, it is a big thing. The ghost restaurants. You go there, you order the food, you go there to pick it up, and you realize there's no storefront. Everything is closed up, and they just give you the food. So that's a thing already, and I believe it's going to become bigger and more. And I think people are gonna, if they're gonna know that it's good food, if they're gonna know that it's natural food, if they're gonna know that there's no pesticides that have been used, to raise those veggies and fruits and stuff, if they're gonna know what kind of oil was used to cook them, they'll be more prone to use it. So I believe that that's 100% coming, and we're going to implement that in a vertical living. So food, very important, super important for us, for our kids, and for longevity of the human race. Period. What you put inside your body is what it's how you look, how you act, how you think, and how you're gonna feel, and eventually dictates when you're going to die. So we talked about that. Next, in order to keep in shape, be mentally healthy, not be obese, and be able to move. And a lot of problems that we see, especially in older people, is that like um, some falls cause big injuries, like hip injury. um, and that could be prevented if they were to be a little bit more active. As we age, what we see is that older people think that they can not move anymore, and the reality should be that they should be doing, you know, the if they were active, they should do the same activities, but just in a lower, lower quantity. I was amazed last night. Actually, we run the run club here in Miami, and there was this lady. She was, I would want to say, about 65 years old, and we were running and we were talking, and she said, she's like, I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to represent the seniors. And I was like, you're doing great. Let's go. And she did so amazing. She came by when we were grabbing water at the end, and she's like, I'm still here. So funny. And as people grow older, they should move more, not less. And I believe that health is a big thing. So we want to see in the vertical living, we want to see, of course, any type of you have the soul cycles, the core power yoga, maybe some kickboxing, maybe some judo, maybe some jiu-jitsu, all kinds of things that now that a family that lives here, like mom can go to Pilates, the son can go to jiu-jitsu, and dad can just go and lift some, lift some weights. And all of that is happening right here. And that would be amazing. And of course, you're going to have neighbors coming from other buildings with different interests and stuff. And that's what I see. And amenities. I see amenities as a big thing in the vertical living, because a lot of people with having jobs from home, look at this place where we're sitting now. This is an amenity in a building, okay? I can book this place and I can come here and I can shoot this video for you so you can see it. How amazing is that? This is where I live. I can do some work here. I can book this. I can have a party here. I can play ping pong. I can play pool. I can do all of these things. And as we go, I think there's going to be more and more and more amenities. However, let's not forget that there are developers out there who go overboard with amenities. And at the end of the day, that hurts the resident, the consumer. So we don't want to do that, okay? We want it to be in a fashion that it makes sense, and it's not space, and it's not money, and it's not amenities that are wasted. That's the biggest thing for me. So going forward, I think amenities are going to be big. The vertical living, obviously, look at this right here. This is amazing, right? You have the shape, you have the lines, you have this circle right here in the middle. So I think appearances of the vertical living of the buildings are going to be one of the continuing to attract more and more residents and people to buy them. And I think that more architects, more talent, worldwide talent is going to be attracted for these buildings to design them and to bring a developer's vision to life. There's going to be huge opportunities there for people who have that talent, for people who have the imagination, and for artistic people to express themselves and create something that is unique, something that is great. So that's also going to help. And I'm going to give you an example. Here in Miami, you have the three buildings actually that are by Brickell Center, and there's people who are posing in front of these buildings almost 24/7. So something that was an empty piece of land before, now it became a place to where people are photographing this and taking photos with it almost 24/7 with their phones and professional cameras, and you have all these drones flying. So something that is not desirable, that could change drastically with a new development coming up. Um, and Brickell Center is one example. You have Hudson Yards in New York with the reverse Christmas tree. That's another example. And you can see how that is also a big factor. And that's pretty much it. One thing that I forgot to mention is I believe that people are going to be driving less and less, so maybe the parking is going to be even less and less, and you have all this ride sharing services, so those will be more utilized. And in general, this is my vision for vertical living, and this is exactly what we're going to develop for the next decades to come. My name is Vladimir. I'm a real estate developer, and we're developing here in South and Central Florida, and we are developing the vertical living.